This is Charles96 here with another video where I'm just going to be talking about the DC Collectibles Films Premium line as a whole, after finally getting the figures. I've made several videos about this series before they were released, just kind of talking about it and doing some updates once more information was found. And now that I finally have two figures from the series, I can, kind of see what the series is all about and kind of talk about what I'm hoping for the future of it and what could happen for the future. So let's talk about it. So first of all, getting these, I will do full reviews on both of these figures, of course, but personally, I really did enjoy both of these figures tremendously. I think that they're really great and kind of in their own ways, actually, and I think that just the series as a whole is very exciting to me, and I'm super pumped for the future of it. However, the future of the series is quite uncertain, unfortunately. Just to keep anybody up to date that doesn't already know, back about it's almost been a year ago now. It's a year ago, February. This series was first announced, and not only was it first announced, but the first 9 figures were shown, and with full articulation and everything. It was very exciting. They showed several figures, including these 2 figures, as well as Lex Luthor, Feora, Zod, Jor-El, let's see, Harley Quinn, El Diablo, and Wonder Woman. Yeah, those are the ones that they showed, and they looked great. I was very excited for this line. They all went up for pre-order within days of being showed, and then months went by, and then finally they canceled a ton of them. They canceled Lex Luthor, Feora, Zod, and Jor-El, and before they canceled them, they did show a few new figures, including Namek, which I was very excited about because this would be the first Namek figure ever, and he was also in that line that was canceled. So at the moment, the only ones that are for sure are the Armored Batman and Superman. They obviously are already out. And then the others that are still on pre-order, they haven't been canceled, are Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, and El Diablo. And then some new figures that were shown that are still on pre-order, including Batman, Nightmare Batman, Aquaman, Katana, Killer Croc, and Captain Boomerang. However, those figures, only the CG kind of like prototypes were shown of them without any articulation. But they are still on pre-order. It's just they've been on pre-order like that for a long time, and there's been no update, which is quite disappointing. So this series, I think, is kind of in limbo. I did hear some people at DC Collectibles talk about the series in a video when they were showing, or right before these figures actually were released, and they did want to make it clear that the series wasn't canceled in general, but it just, what they said wasn't very reassuring, I was kind of like, based on what they said, I was almost worried that there would be more cancellations, and I do think that there's going to be more cancellations. I could easily see El Diablo, Katana, Killer Croc, and Captain Boomerang being canceled. I think the only 2 for sure at this moment are Wonder Woman and Harley Quinn. I think that both of those will definitely come out, but everybody else I think is definitely in an area of uncertainty. But these figures are great because they are really like imported figures. If you've had like Figure Arts or Reveltech or Mafex figures, they're very similar to that as far as their designs and their articulation, and some of their articulation points are very similar as well, and their accessories are similar too, based on how the interchangeable hands, swap out and on, things like that. And but the great thing about them is that they're at a more reasonable cost because you don't have to pay the extra shipping to get them imported in. When I buy a Figure Arts figure, usually the cheapest I can get one for, like, shipped to me is about $70, which is too expensive. I think that that's overpriced for what they are. But with these guys, because they're obviously made by a U.S. distributor, they only cost about $40 to $45 to get them to me, which is really nice. I have to say, I think that it is much higher than DC Collectibles' average rate, and therefore a lot of people are thinking these are really expensive. But when you take what they are and like compare them to other toy company or to other toy lines that are similar, and then you can kind of see that this is actually, it's a better price for what you get. So personally, I love this line. I was very excited for it beforehand, and now that it is out and I can see the full articulation on these figures, and I can see their features, I'm quite excited for the future. I will say that I love these 2 figures, and my favorite part about them is the capes. I absolutely love the capes. I really love posing capes, and there's just so few figures that come out with posable capes that these are very exciting to me. And unfortunately, there's not too many figures with capes now coming out. Let's see, the regular Batman is the only figure at the moment coming out with a cape, and unfortunately, Feora, General Zod, and Jor-El all had capes that were canceled. So I'm quite disappointed because I really love the cape aspect of this toy line. So it's a shame that there aren't more figures coming out with the capes. Not to mention I'm a huge General Zod and Feora fan. I mean, just right now I'm wearing a General Zod shirt, and so his and her cancellation was just devastating to me. I really do hope that they reconsider this in the future. I think it's possible once this series starts to pick up momentum, if it's given a chance to, that possibly they will revisit some of their canceled figures, considering, they were in the prototype stage, so it would be easier to revisit them rather than create new ones. So that would be excellent if one day we could get Zod and Feora, but at the moment, I'm not holding out too much hope. I'm really hoping that this series will continue. Who knows how it's going to continue because they've been playing around with price. Just about all of these have been about $45, except for Armored Batman, which was $50, because he's bigger and he has a light-up function. Except for Katana, Killer Croc, and Boomerang. Those are the last three to go on pre-order, and they went on pre-order at $35. So they've brought the price down about $10, which is quite interesting because as far as their accessories, they seem to come with just about the standard rate of accessories. Now, there obviously isn't any articulation on the pictures of them because they're just the CGI models. However, it wasn't stated that they'd have less articulation, so we'll have to see if they've really just figured out a way to bring down the price, or if they are sacrificing some of the features on these guys to bring down the price. In that video where some of the people at DC Collectibles were talking, they did say, that the issue was people thinking that the price was overpriced, and they really wanted to get the awareness out that that these figures are better than their average figures, and that's why they're costing more. So we'll have to see. Hopefully this line will continue strongly. Hopefully they keep doing characters and they keep coming out with them at a decent rate. And then I think that within a year or so they'll probably have their plan set out, and they'll know how much they're going to charge for these figures, and they're going to know which characters to do. I wouldn't be surprised if there are more cancellations down the line here. But for me personally, the ones that I plan to get at the moment, without doubt, are Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, the regular Batman, and Captain Boomerang. Those are the ones that I really am definitely going to get. I'm undecided about the Nightmare Batman. Aquaman, I want an Aquaman figure, but I don't want the one without the shirt. If that's my only option, I will get it, but hopefully I can get one from Justice League instead. As far as Katana, I really didn't like her in the movie. Maybe if the figure looks amazing, considering she's at a lower price point, I might reconsider, not quite sure. And then Killer Croc, I'm still thinking about him. The figure doesn't really excite me, but I really want to start seeing these figures with their articulation points. That's going to be... because then you can actually look at the figure. So hopefully at a toy event coming up, probably at Toy Fair in New York in February, early February, that's probably where we'll get a better look at what the series is going to do, because they'll probably have a lot of these figures on display and maybe some more information on them as far as their articulation, as well as what they'll all come with. So there you go. That's just kind of a breakdown of my personal thoughts on this DC Collectibles Films Premium line. I really do enjoy the line. I would urge anybody who hasn't picked up these figures yet but are kind of thinking about it, I would say that they are worth it. Definitely give them a try. If you're a little worried, pick up one and then see how it is, and then you can get the second one if you are pleased, and I would imagine you will be. So there you go. That's my thoughts on this line as a whole. We'll be reviewing both Armored Batman and Superman separately coming up here, and thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of this line in general as well.